The Tupi tribe, which inhabited the depths of the Amazon, was facing one of the most challenging periods in its history. The prolonged drought had devastated the crops, and the rivers, once teeming with fish, now ran almost dry. The children, once full of life, played less, their laughter replaced by cries of hunger. Chief Itoki, a strong and respected man, felt the weight of leadership on his shoulders. He met with the tribe's elders every night around the campfire, trying to find a solution to the problem that threatened to destroy his people. However, each discussion ended in frustration and despair. "We need to make a drastic decision, Itoki," said Arasai, the oldest elder, his voice hoarse and full of wisdom. "If we don't do something, we will all perish." Itoki looked around, seeing the tired and worried faces of his advisors. He knew Arasai was right, but the idea of sacrificing the newborns seemed an unimaginable cruelty. However, the chief also knew that the welfare of the entire tribe depended on this decision. "I know, Arasai," Itoki responded with a deep sigh. "But how can I look into a mother's eyes and tell her that her child must die?" "You are the leader, Itoki," Arasai replied, his eyes fixed on Itoki's. "The responsibility to save our people lies in your hands." That night, Itoki walked through the village, observing the simple huts made of straw and wood. He stopped in front of his daughter Ayasen's hut and heard her muffled sobs. She was pregnant, about to give birth, and he knew that any decision he made would directly affect his family. The next day, Itoki gathered the entire tribe in a circle around the large central campfire. The exhausted and hungry faces of the villagers reflected the glow of the flames. With a firm voice, he announced the most difficult decision of his life. "My people, I have listened to the elders' advice and reflected on our situation. From now on, all newborns will be sacrificed so that we can preserve the resources that remain. I know this decision is cruel, but it is the only way to ensure our survival." A murmur of shock swept through the crowd. Mothers clutched their children tighter, tears streaming down their faces. Ayasen, who was in the front row, looked at her father with a mix of pain and disbelief. "Father, how can you do this?" she cried, her voice broken by anguish. "My baby. We cannot sacrifice our children." Itoki felt his heart tighten, but he remained resolute. "I am sorry, Ayasen. There is no other choice. We must make this sacrifice to save our people." Ayasen fell to her knees, sobbing. The tribe was silent, the gravity of the situation hanging in the air like a heavy shadow. Itoki knew he had set a dark path, but he believed there was no other way to ensure his people's survival. Ayasen's despair. Ayasen sat by the river, her hands trembling as they touched the cold water. Her heart was heavy with unbearable pain since her baby had been taken away. Tears streamed down her face, mingling with the raindrops that began to fall softly. She looked up at the sky, silently pleading with Tupan for a solution, for any sign of hope. The following days were pure torment. Ayasen could barely eat or sleep. The women of the tribe tried to console her, but nothing could alleviate the anguish in her heart. Her father, Itoki, was also visibly shaken, but he remained firm in his decision, believing it was the only way to save the tribe. One night, while the village slept, Ayasen ventured into the forest. She walked aimlessly, guided only by her pain and despair. She heard the sounds of the jungle, the songs of the night birds, and the rustling of leaves in the wind. Her father's words echoed in her mind, and she struggled to understand how such a great sacrifice could be the solution. "Tupan, please show me a way," Ayasen murmured, falling to her knees on the forest floor. "Show me a way to save my people without more suffering." Suddenly, a soft glow appeared before her. Ayasen blinked, unsure if she was seeing something real or if her mind was playing tricks on her. The glow intensified, revealing the ethereal figure of a woman, enveloped in light. It was as if the spirits of the forest were answering her call. "Ayasen, your pain has not gone unnoticed," said the figure in a gentle, comforting voice. "Your love for your people is true, and Tupan has heard your prayers. The solution you seek is closer than you think." "Who are you?" Ayasen asked, feeling a mix of fear and hope. "I am the guardian of the forest, an ancient spirit who protects these lands. Come, I will show you the way. The ethereal figure began to move, and Iason followed, feeling inexplicably safe. They walked along a narrow path until they reached a clearing where a tall, sturdy palm tree stood, its dark fruits glistening under the moonlight. This is the sacred tree, the Guardian explained. Its fruits have the power to nourish and strengthen. When your tribe discovers Asai, there will be no more hunger, and the sacrifices can cease. Iason looked at the fruits with wide eyes. It was a simple yet powerful solution. She knew her tribe would need time to understand and accept it, but it was a start. With tears of gratitude in her eyes, Iason thanked the forest spirit. Thank you, Guardian. I will bring this gift to my people. The Guardian smiled and disappeared, leaving Iason alone in the clearing. She gathered some fruits and began her journey back to the village, her heart a little lighter, knowing she had found new hope for her people. Tupan's miracle. Iason returned to the village carrying the dark Asai fruits in her hands, her heart full of hope and determination. The walk through the forest, now illuminated by the first light of dawn, seemed less oppressive. As she reached the village, she saw the first rays of sunlight beginning to light up the huts and the tired faces of its inhabitants. Father! Father! Iason called, running towards Itoki's hut. I found something. We need to see this together. Itoki, who had barely slept, emerged from his hut with a worried expression. Seeing the intensity in his daughter's eyes, he knew something significant had happened. What is it, my daughter? Itoki asked, trying to contain his anxiety. Iason showed him the Asai fruits, holding them with reverence. These fruits, father. The forest guardian showed them to me. They have the power to nourish and strengthen us. We need to share them with the tribe. Itoki looked at the fruits and then at his daughter, feeling a mix of skepticism and hope. He knew Iason's faith was unshakable, but could something so simple really save the tribe? Let's see what they can do, Itoki said, taking some fruits and calling the elders for a meeting. Gathered around the campfire, the elders and other tribe members watched with curiosity as Itoki and Iason distributed the Asai fruits. Everyone tasted them, one by one, and immediately felt a surge of energy and satiety. It was as if the fruits had been touched by Tupan. This is incredible, exclaimed Arasai, the oldest elder, with a new light in his eyes. We can survive. Tupan has sent us a blessing through you, Iason. These fruits, Itoki continued, with newfound determination in his voice, will be our salvation. From now on, we will cultivate them and ensure no one else has to suffer or be sacrificed. The tribe's eyes filled with hope and gratitude. Iason, still holding some fruits, felt a weight lifted from her heart. She knew the struggle was not over, but this was the beginning of a new era for her people. In the following days, the tribe dedicated themselves to harvesting and planting the seeds of the Asai fruits. The village began to transform, with new plantations springing up around it. The air was filled with a new sense of purpose and community. The children resumed their play, now with renewed energy and laughter. Iason, in turn, became a central figure in the village. Her connection with the forest guardian and the spirits was seen as a blessing, and she was respected and loved by all. She and Itoki worked together, combining ancient wisdom with the new hope brought by the Asai. One night, while they were around the campfire, Itoki held Iason's hand and looked into her eyes. I am proud of you, my daughter. You brought hope to our people when everything seemed lost. Iason smiled, finally feeling at peace. Thank you, father. I know we still have much to do, but together we can face anything. The discovery of the fruits. The first days after the discovery of the Asai fruits were filled with intense work and renewed hope. The entire tribe was involved in planting the seeds, eager to see the results of the blessing Iason had brought. The children, once pale and apathetic, now ran and played with renewed energy, their laughter filling the village air. Iason, however, knew there was still much to be done. She decided to organize a meeting with the elders to discuss how they could maximize the benefits of the Asai fruits. She wanted to ensure that the tribe not only survived but thrived. We need to find ways to use these fruits efficiently, Ayasin said, looking at the elders around the campfire. We can do more than just eat them. We can extract juices, prepare medicines, and even trade with other tribes. Arasai, the oldest elder, nodded. You are right, Ayasin. These fruits are a gift from Tupan, and we must use them wisely. We need to learn everything we can about them. I have already started experimenting with different preparation methods, said Tupan, the tribe's healer, showing some bowls of acai juice he had prepared. The juice is extremely nutritious, and I am exploring its medicinal properties. Itoki, observing with pride his daughter's leadership, added, We also need to protect our plantations. Others may want to take advantage of our work. We must ensure our fruits are safe. The meeting continued with detailed plans on how to expand the plantations and protect the fruits. Ayasin felt a wave of determination and gratitude as she saw the tribe united and working in harmony. It was a vision of what the future could be, a future of prosperity and security. In the following days, the tribe began to see the results of their hard work. The acai plantations grew quickly, and the fruits were ready to be harvested. Ayasin led the first major harvest, her eyes shining with hope and joy. This is just the beginning, she said, holding a cluster of ripe fruits. With these fruits, we have the key to a better future. During the harvest, a group of visitors from a neighboring tribe arrived at the village. They had heard about the miraculous fruits and were curious to learn more. Ayasin welcomed them warmly, seeing an opportunity to build alliances and share knowledge. Welcome, friends, Ayasin said, extending her hand in greeting. We have much to share with you. These fruits have brought new life to our tribe, and we would like to show you how they can do the same for you. The visitors were impressed by the tribe's vitality and the abundance of the plantations. They spoke at length with Ayasin and the elders, exchanging knowledge and ideas. By the end of their visit, they left with acai seeds and a new sense of hope. That night, as the tribe celebrated the first major harvest with dances and songs around the campfire, Itoki approached Ayasin. You have brought a new era to our people, my daughter, he said, his eyes full of pride. We are witnessing the beginning of something great. Ayasin smiled, feeling the warmth of the fire and the joy around her. All this is thanks to Tupan and the strength of our people. Together, we can face any challenge. And so the Tupi tribe, strengthened by the acai fruits and Ayasin's inspiring leadership, entered a new phase of prosperity and unity, ready to face the future with courage and hope. The salvation of the tribe. The sound of children's laughter echoed through the village, a melody long forgotten by its inhabitants. The acai plantations, now robust and prolific, had transformed the life of the Tupi tribe. The fruits were harvested daily, bringing nutrition and energy to everyone. Hope, reborn, was palpable in the air. Ayasin watched the scene with a satisfied smile. She felt proud of her tribe, which had found strength and unity in times of adversity. But she knew the true test was yet to come. News of the miraculous fruits had spread, and she feared that unwanted visitors might bring trouble. One afternoon, while Ayasin was walking through the plantations, she found her father, Itoki, inspecting the fruits. Father, we need to be prepared, Ayasin said, the worry evident in her voice. Others might want to take advantage of what we've built here. Itoki nodded, sharing his daughter's concern. You are right. We must protect our plantations and our people. I will gather the warriors and reinforce the vigilance around the village. As preparations were made, the village continued its routine, but with an air of caution. Ayasin felt uneasy, as if a storm was about to break over them. Her instinct was correct. That night, as the tribe gathered around the campfire to share stories and meals, a group of armed outsiders invaded the village. Led by a man named Rodriguez, a mercenary known for his brutal tactics, they demanded access to the acai plantations. We have come for the fruits we've heard about, Rodriguez said, his voice loaded with threat. We don't want to hurt anyone, but we won't hesitate if you resist. Itoki stood up, his eyes shining with determination. These fruits are sacred to us. We will not let you take them. Rodriguez laughed, a cold, disdainful sound. Do you really think you can stop us? We are many, and you are few. Before he could react, the tribe's warriors, hidden in the shadows, emerged around the invaders. Bows and arrows were raised, ready to defend their land and their people. Do not underestimate the strength of our unity, Ayasin said, positioning herself beside her father. We will fight for our survival and our future. The tension was palpable, but before the situation could escalate into violence, Tupan, the healer, intervened. Wait! Tupan shouted, drawing everyone's attention. There is another way. He approached Rodriguez, holding a bowl of acai juice. Taste this juice and see the power it holds, Tupan said, offering the bowl. These fruits can nourish and strengthen, but they are not just for taking. They are a symbol of our connection to the forest. If you understand this, we can find a solution that does not involve violence. Rodriguez looked at Tupan with suspicion, but took the bowl and tasted the juice. His expression of skepticism turned to surprise. This is incredible, Rodriguez admitted, feeling the energy course through his body. We can share the fruits, Itoki said, stepping forward. But only if you respect our lands and our people. We can teach you how to cultivate and harvest, so that you can also prosper without harming us. Rodriguez pondered for a moment, and finally nodded. Very well. We will make a deal. That night, around the campfire, the tribe and the outsiders shared stories and knowledge. The threat had been transformed into an opportunity for cooperation. Ayasin felt a wave of relief and gratitude. The salvation of her tribe lay not only in the fruits, but in the ability to find peaceful solutions and to unite forces with others. Ayasin's legacy. Months passed, and the Tupi tribe continued to prosper. The agreement with the outsiders had held, and the cooperation between the tribes brought new knowledge and resources that further strengthened the community. Ayasin had become a respected and beloved leader, not only by her tribe but also by neighboring tribes who heard of her wisdom and courage. One morning, Ayasin was walking through the acai plantations, observing the vigorous growth of the fruits. Beside her was Tupan, the tribe's healer, who had become one of her closest advisors. It's incredible how our village has changed since we discovered these fruits, said Tupan, with a proud smile. And it's all thanks to your courage, Ayasin. Ayasin shook her head modestly. It was an effort of all of us, Tupan. The strength of our people lies in our unity and our ability to learn from each other. Even so, you are our inspiration, insisted Tupan. And we need to ensure that your legacy is preserved for future generations. As they walked, they were approached by a group of young people from the tribe, led by a young man named Karik. He had bright eyes and an expression of determination. Ayasin, we have a proposal, said Karik, trying to contain his excitement. We want to learn more about the acai fruits, their properties, and how we can use them to further help our people. We can create a study group where the tribe's youth can deepen their knowledge of the plants and the spirits of the forest. Ayasin smiled, feeling a wave of pride and hope. That is an excellent idea, Karik. You are the future of our tribe, and it is important that you continue to learn and preserve our knowledge. Tupan nodded. I will also help guide this group. Together, we can discover new ways to use the fruits and ensure that our tribe's wisdom is passed on. The following days were dedicated to forming the study group. Young people of all ages gathered, eager to learn. Tupan and Ayasin shared everything they knew about the cultivation and use of acai fruits, as well as the stories and legends of the forest spirits. The sessions were held around the campfire, where the warmth of the flames created an environment of communion and learning. One night, while the group was discussing new ideas, Itoki approached, observing with pride what his daughter had created. He sat next to Ayasin, who was explaining a cultivation technique. You have transformed our tribe in a way I never imagined, my daughter, said Itoki, his eyes shining with emotion. Your legacy will be remembered for many generations. Ayasin held her father's hand, feeling a deep and loving connection. Everything I did was for our people, and there is still much to be done. We need to continue to grow and learn, together. As the moon shone in the starry sky, the Tupi tribe celebrated their unity and their promising future. Ayasin knew that the journey was not over, but she was confident that, with the strength and wisdom of her people, they could face any challenge that came their way. The acai fruit and the spirits of the forest. The Tupi village had transformed into a true oasis of life and prosperity. The acai fruits, now abundantly cultivated, were more than a source of nutrition. They had become a symbol of resilience, wisdom, and unity. The tribe, once threatened by hunger and despair, flourished under Ayasin's inspiring leadership and the cooperation of her people. The days were filled with diligent work in the plantations, while the nights were reserved for celebrations and storytelling around the campfire. Neighboring tribes regularly visited to learn about acai cultivation, strengthening alliances and expanding the support network among indigenous communities. One morning, Ayasin gathered the tribe for an important announcement. Itoki, Tupan, and Karik stood by her side, representing the strength and wisdom that had guided the tribe thus far. "My people," Ayasin began, her voice clear and confident. "Today we celebrate not just our survival, but our flourishing. The acai fruits have given us new life, and now it is our responsibility to protect them and honor the forest spirits who have blessed us. We must become the guardians of this sacred fruit," continued Itoki, his firm voice resonating among the villagers. "We must ensure that its cultivation is done with respect, and that the secrets of its nutrition and power are preserved for future generations." Tupan stepped forward, holding a bowl of acai juice. "These fruits are not just food. They are the essence of our connection with nature and the spirits who guide us. We must treat each tree as a sacred being, caring for it with reverence." Karik, representing the new generation, raised his hand with determination. "We, the youth, promise to continue learning and teaching about acai. We will be the protectors of this legacy, ensuring that our tribe prospers and that the knowledge spreads throughout the Amazon." The entire tribe responded with a shout of approval, the collective energy creating an even stronger bond among them. Ayasin felt a wave of pride and gratitude. She knew the journey had been difficult, but the reward was there, before her eyes. In the following weeks, the Tupi tribe implemented new sustainable cultivation practices, ensuring that each acai tree was cared for with the utmost respect. They built structures to protect the plantations from potential invaders and started a knowledge exchange program with other tribes, further strengthening the support network. One night, while walking through the forest under the full moon, Ayasin felt a familiar presence. She stopped near an acai tree and closed her eyes, letting the sounds of the jungle fill her senses. Suddenly, an ethereal figure appeared before her, the forest guardian. "Ayasin," the guardian said with a gentle and comforting voice, "you and your people have proven to be true guardians of the forest. The spirits are at peace knowing that the legacy of the acai is safe in your hands." Ayasin smiled, feeling a deep spiritual connection. "Thank you, guardian. I promise we will honor this legacy and protect the forest with all our strength." "And remember," the guardian continued, "the forest spirits will always be with you, guiding and protecting. You are now a sacred part of this cycle of life." The ethereal figure disappeared, leaving Ayasin in peace. She knew that with the support of the spirits and the unity of her people, the Tupi tribe would continue to prosper, being a beacon of hope and resilience for all indigenous communities. Returning to the village, Ayasin found her father, Itoki, waiting for her. "Are you all right, my daughter?" he asked, with a look of concern mixed with pride. "Yes, father," Ayasin replied, embracing him. "The forest spirits are with us. We are the guardians of the acai, and our legacy is secure." Itoki smiled, feeling a wave of relief and gratitude. "Together, we can face anything. We are ready for this new era." The Tupi tribe, now strong and united, looked to the future with confidence and determination. They were more than survivors. They were protectors of the forest, guardians of a sacred legacy that would ensure prosperity and harmony for generations to come.